So, guys, welcome to another episode of our random call. These are random lives in the free community that we go live to answer a few questions, make sure who is who. But in Mastermind, the live are different. People will come on stage like me, and then we'll have a conversation. But here, since we have a lot of members, it's obviously not possible to do that, but I'm going to share my screen. As you know, there is a post pinned to the top of the community right now. So if you have any question, go to the community, click on the pinned post, and put your questions based on the template that we have, and I will get to them one by one. Okay? So, and we only have 30 minutes today. I have another meeting to attend. So make sure to put your questions direct and according to the template, so I have enough information to respond. Okay, so let's start. Everyone hear me well? See me well? Okay, why it's not opening? Let me refresh and see what's up. We have 33 people online. That's a lot, guys. That's amazing. Like communities having 33 people working at the same time, it's really valuable. And you can see my notification. It always passed 99 plus. I cannot even keep up with the amount of notifications I get, which is great. This is a great problem to solve. Okay, let's get to it. From Mina. I'm not sure if she's on the call or not, but I'm going to respond anyway because she might have wow, might want to listen to this on the recording. So, hi, my current situation is looking for jobs. I'm a biomedical engineering plus MBA, and my work background is mostly sales of medical devices and application specialist. My desired situation is application specialist. I would like to be a trainer for medical devices. Therefore, my question is what other job titles have the same concept correct? Okay, so, good question, guys. Usually, a lot of you come to me and you're looking for sales job because you had sales background back home. And this is where it gets very tricky because a lot of sales job in North America, they do not require any certification or any degrees. Let me put it this way. So you come from a background with a different mother tongue, mother language, and different set of expectation because you had bachelor, masters, whatever. It's really hard sometimes to compete with natives who are doing sales for their own for the whole life, and they don't even necessarily go to school to become better at sales because you can only get better at sales by doing more sales. So there is a very unfair competition for the sales jobs that I really want to emphasize that a lot of you who have come from a sales background, that your best bet is to go through the sales that requires analytical skills. I'll give you an example. So versus like instead of looking for uh, sales manager, look for sales analyst. That's just an example. Okay, I don't want you to go for sales analyst. So instead of going to the sales executive, go to Salesforce analyst. It's a software for sales, but you get to use your degrees and experiences and everything together. So to your question, what other job titles? I'm not in a position to give anybody any job title. The way that we help you to find the right job titles comes from a rigorous process of transformational process that you have to do on a daily basis. And that process starts by learning about first networking. You need to understand networking on a bigger level because we do reverse engineer it. And then we start understanding the market. Because if you don't understand the market, there is no point of picking a job title. So, job title comes from the demand of the market. And through ChatGPT module will help you how to feed ChatGPT with the data of your data and the market data, so ChatGPT can help you. ChatGPT can become your 24/7 coach, well, give you job titles that actually are in need with the businesses. So if you're sitting home and trying to come up with a title, you probably go wrong with that. And I will even probably go wrong with that if I tell you go do this or do that. The only way to understand where you want to go is using a lot of data points. And that data points come from the market and come from your personal preferences and personal experiences and your personal skill set. So there's a lot of data points that we need to use. So these are advanced stuff, guys. Like that's why the program works, because I'm teaching you advanced stuff. I'm coming from an HR data consultant. I I help you how to gather data and use this data for your own benefit. So it's very important to follow the steps, Blue, because I know you, Mina, she's a member of our mastermind. If you're a member of mastermind, you need to go through the step-by-step process that I laid out there for you. Learn the basics of networking, learn how to use the chat gpt, how to train your chat gpt, and then how to get those information out of chat gpt to pick the positions that you're going to apply, to make the resume based on those, and to land a perfect job that really fits your specific characteristics based on your MBA by medical engineering and the work you've done back home. And now you're just trying to get into a market that really fits you. Because if you end up doing sales, just pure sales, you might not be happy. A lot of people doing sales and you're competing with a wrong audience, right? So very careful where you want to go. And again, you don't get it in 1 day or 2 day or 3 day. You get it through a transformational process, and that transformation takes time. Good job. Azar. Hi, Alex. Thanks for this session. My current situation is prepping for interviews. I have interviews in next days. My desire is to finish this step as soon as possible with success. Yeah, tell me about it. Everybody wants to pass interviews. I would like to have your guidance on how to prepare myself for a technical interview for a role which is an interdisciplinary, and I already have relevant experience. I still have some gaps because I'm transitioning from academia to industry, so things feel a little bit different. How can I prepare myself to stand out and be invited for the next? Okay, so some of your questions actually requires a whole months of training. So, question like this: how do I prepare for interview? This is not something that I can cover in 5 minutes or something that I can cover even in 1 week. The way that we teach interview, guys, for most of you who have problems with interviews, you go through a transformational program of, we call it interview identity shift, and it's 3 days lectures, 6 hours. Once you're done with that, you have to practice based on the sessions. We teach you a method. It's called Alex Masters. You practice it every week with other members. And then we record it, you go back to it, you watch it, you practice, you make it better. So it's a transformational process again to practice interview and become perfect at it. It's not something that you can learn it overnight. And it's not something that you can learn it by a lecture or by me advising you. It's on you. So the best thing for now that I can tell you, try to put your camera, record yourself. Okay, do interview, record yourself, listen to it, and see how you did it, and then write it down. Try to make it better. Say it again, record yourself, check it versus the previous recording. So every time you record, check it versus previous one, delete the previous one, and improve based on your own uh, performance. That is the best way to practice for interviews. And if you're talking about gaps, the gaps would be your projects, because a lot of you going to industry from academia, your gaps is not actually a gap, because if you're in academia, probably you've done PhD or whatever, you've done projects. The goal is to how you are able to transform those projects into deliverable milestone that you have actually have experience to talk about. So it's not that people who go from academia to industry, they think they haven't done anything, but actually they did a lot of things, but they don't know how to present it because they think that it was just purely research. But even research comes with a lot of complication, comes with a lot of um, questioning, comes with a lot of projects and milestones. So you need to be able to tell that story in a perfect way, and that is storytelling, story making, the storytelling practice is happening in the interview identity shift, which we have. So again, I wish you passed this interview, but if you didn't, it's not you, it's just the preparation of you. So how prepared are you to show up to those meetings? And again, this is what I always tell to my mastermind members: don't settle for one or two or three interviews. You guys need to go to 5 interviews per week, which we get to our system. 5 interviews per week to have so many opportunities. And when you have so many opportunities, you're so comfortable when you show up to these meetings. You're not stressed because if this is not going to happen, you have another interview lined up. So that will give you peace of mind and that will give you confidence to go forward. Good luck with your interview. Let us know how you go. Post it in members win. Whatever happened, like you already won because you're going to an interview, right? So thank you, Fatima. Hello, my current situation is I'm a psychology student in New York exploring path in business, marketing, and finance. I'm actively trying to build my skill network and personal brand on LinkedIn, but I'm still early and figuring how to position myself effectively. My desired situation is I want to become someone who stand out to top companies, building real connections, gaining relevant experience, and eventually growing into a leadership role where I can apply psychology to business strategy. Therefore, my question is from your experience, what's the highest leverage action sometimes my position should focus on right now to start attracting the right opportunities, recruiters, mentors, internship, instead of just blending in? Okay, great. Exactly. This is exactly how why I built the mastermind. So you learn all of these. You already know what you need to do. You just need to start and learn how to do this. Because if you want to go to big companies, if you have a high aims, so the idea is to make a good network, like people, like you already know where you're going. So you just need to understand what are the connection points that are getting you there, and you have to start becoming super active on these connect with these connections. You need to start having coffee chats with them. You need to start getting them engaged about the latest trends in psychology or whatever you're working on. You need to be posting about it. You need to build that brand. If you think it's early, but I would say it's too late, because you start your brand and network 10 years ago. If you haven't done that, you need to start today. Okay. And especially for those of you who are a student, because you're a student, because everything is paid off somehow with a loan or your parents or whatever, you're a student. You have so much time to make a brand. So you need to start making that brand, as you said, personal brand on LinkedIn. Very important. You need to start making that brand, because that is the brand that will bringing you the opportunities and people and all that. So the highest leverage action is to be active on LinkedIn, post on LinkedIn, get engaged with decision makers. That's what you need to do. Okay. Good luck. Arya, I studied cybersecurity and have 4 years of experience working in one of the big banks of Canada as a quality assurance in different projects. Got laid off last year, and since then I have been day trading future and commodities. I've been trying to get back to something similar, develop position I had before, but faced different things and not working out. Okay, what's the question? So it looks like you have experience, and looks like uh, you have been laid off for a year. And since you've been busy trading, you didn't do enough networking and looking for a job. So if your question is how can you get back to something similar, it's in working hard. So and if you don't know how to work hard, just I see you're level 1, so you haven't done anything here. Take the free challenge. In the free challenge, you learn what you need to be doing to get back on track. So you have everything that you need in this community, from Q&A section, weekly webinars, classroom, calendar, everything is available to you to get you back on the track. And with someone who has studied in cybersecurity, who has 4 years of experience, it's not really hard to secure another job. I can guarantee that to you. So you just need to steal some time from your trading and put it back into working toward the job that you want, and just to start with the free challenge. So, Mona, I'm based on Calgary, aiming for a staff accountant role at the Big Four firms. I have 9 years of international accounting experience, completed a Canadian CPA bridging program, and I've been putting real effort into tailoring my resume application, but I'm still not getting the interview traction I expected. I want to be seen as a strong, credible candidate for Big Four, build the right relationship, and start turning my background into real interviews. For someone in position, what would make big difference right now in getting noticed by Big Four? Better positioning, stronger networking, or stronger way of presenting international experience? Okay, great question. So, me as a person who have been at two of the four big firms, I've been at PwC and I've been at KPMG. So the only other is Deloitte and Ernest and Young. For those of you who don't know, these are the biggest firms in the world that they actually control the money in the world, because they're mainly tax auditing companies. So all the companies in the world has to go through these four to make sure they're complying with the tax. So that's that. I work in two of them. And to answer your question, if you're trying to get to these, first of all, I wasn't in tax, I wasn't in technology. I was in technology, but I was seeing tax people crazy lifestyle. They work really hard at the Big Four. So if you like that work style, lifestyle, then yes, that would be a good place to go. But it's heavily, especially if you're senior. So for juniors, they usually hire from the school programs. Like there's graduate programs at the school. They have placements. So the best way to enter the Big Four, if you're a student, is through the graduate programs that probably some of the, not all of the schools offering. So that's the one way. The other way to get into Big Four is through networking. And if you don't have a strong network at Big Four, it's time to build that network. And this is exactly what I teach you, how to build a network. And you need to build that network to be able to get into the, because by applying, nothing gonna happen. Like you have no idea how many resumes we used to get when I was there. Like, like people are crazy about me. People go to Harvard, get a degree there just to be able to work at Big Four, because if you put a Big Four on your resume, you don't have to be worried about jobs anymore. That's the kind of branding that Big Four has in North America. I studied in Sharif University in Iran, and I was being told that whenever you have a Sharif on your resume, you don't have to be worried about your future in Iran. But when I immigrated, everybody was telling me if you have a Big Four on your resume, you don't have to be worried about your future. And that's actually right, because the same thing happened. Like back home, the Sharif thing happened, and then after immigration, I got to PwC. Then that was the same reason I got to KPMG, because once you get into one of them, rotating is really easy, because there is a lot of people rotating in these companies, and it's all based on network. So if you know someone, like a lot of my managers and my friends moved to KPMG, and it was obvious for me to go to KPMG. It was very easy. And then if I wanted to go to Deloitte, it was really easy. Still is easy, because a lot of my coworkers from those days in PwC, now they're at Deloitte. So if I reach out to them, then I can work at Deloitte, right? But I'm past that lifestyle. It's really that, like, you have to really work hard in those companies. It's good for the practice, but long term, nobody stays there. But good job. Keep working. Sarah said, graduated from master's in computer engineering in September. Find my desire to find a full-time job in the US. Therefore, my question is, I get interviews, but only with robots, virtual, not a real person that I can communicate with big companies like Dell and IBM. Any hint to overcome this issue? Yes. So first of all, the most of the people who get interviews with robots is that they apply on a wrong website. So if you apply on Indeed, you probably get a lot of robots. So that's why we say don't even go to Indeed. Like you have to be on LinkedIn. And if you're targeting big companies, the only way to get into big companies, again, big companies, guys, get 100 times application versus the small companies. So if you're trying to go to big companies like Big Four that Mona was trying, and you trying to go to Dell and IBM, the only way is networking and to get to know people in these companies. And you need to learn networking. So networking, in the free challenge, you learn that you need what you need to do networking. But in the mastermind, I give you step by step blueprint on how to do this networking, because there is a way to do that. And it's, again, it's not something overnight. You need to do 1 month or 2 months of networking to start seeing the compounding effect of it. And so your only way is networking, especially for getting interviews. That's why people get 5 interviews per week, guys. They learn the right, proper networking, and that's the only way we teach here. Okay, Ferishte. My name is Ferishte. I'm based in Toronto. I have a background in architecture and looking for a job as a project coordinator or scheduler. Okay. My current situation is I'm trying to find a stable professional job in construction or project scheduling, but I feel stuck and not getting enough opportunities. My desire is, I want to secure a full-time role in scheduling or construction with career growth and stability. But my question is, what is the most effective step I should take right now to stand out and get hired faster in my field? Okay. So, first, first of all, project coordinator, that title is very competitive. There's a lot of people applying to that position. So when you tell me there's not enough opportunities, I want to understand what do you mean, because the moment you put project coordinator role in on LinkedIn, so many jobs will pop up. Okay, so that's your market right there. If you're not getting enough opportunities, you need to understand what positions are you looking for. Maybe you're looking for the wrong position. If the position is right, if the industry is right, look to me, like any project related role, there's a lot of opportunities out there for them. But the way to get them is through networking. Through networking, and the way we network, we first build a brand, guys. So a lot of you come to say, what is networking? Networking is to build a brand. And where we build a brand, we build it on LinkedIn. LinkedIn is the only place that we build a brand, because you're not getting a job out of Instagram. You're not getting a job out of Facebook. You're not getting a job out of a resume send on LinkedIn. You only get a job if you have a brand. Like a lot of you making a brand in this community, right? You go up a leaderboard. You have a profile picture. You have a bio. You have this, and you have contributions. This is simulation of the real world. If you're doing great here, you probably do great on LinkedIn. And if you do great on LinkedIn, you will build a brand. That's why we give you a system. I always tell people, here is not like something that you get a job and done, boom. No, you get a job and then you keep getting offers and opportunities for the rest of your career, because I help you throughout the 3 months coaching that we have to build that brand, right? You build the brand once and you use it forever, right? Very important. And most of the times when you build a brand, the opportunity comes after, because it takes time to build that brand. So for you, Ferishte, as a person who have background in architecture and now looking for project coordinator, what is your brand? How do you tell the story of a person in architecture now trying to become a project coordinator in construction? So you need to learn a lot of things. You need to learn to be able to write down your story, tell that story. Again, back to my conversation, ChatGPT and data is going to help you. Once you have the brand, you start branding yourself, you start reaching out, you start creating that network that we teach you. And once you have the network, the opportunities will come to you. It's not that you're getting enough opportunities. You will get so much opportunities, you have to decide between. Okay? So this is why the program works. This is why a lot of people are reporting and go to Classroom, go to wins. We have more wins we haven't shared yet. Go to wins and watch those conversations. Watch the effect of people. The people who come to my program, they usually report that they're thankful for life, because it's changing their brand and it's changing the way they look at networking and jobs for the rest of their life. It's not just the one job. It's a system we give you that brings you jobs forever. Okay, so for you, and also tell me how long you've been immigrated, like how long you here. So that is a very common problem I see within immigrants. But there is a solution to that, and that solution is you need to actively work hard to build that network, the network that is not handed down to anybody here, the network that nobody has. When you immigrate, you have zero network, right? But you need to build that. Good question. Erfane. Okay, guys, it's 2 minutes. I have to jump to another meeting. Just before I wrap up, another question or two, whatever I can get to. Um, I'll post this recording, and if you have done your free challenge, if you at least level, don't book a call if you're level one. We don't accept. We reject your call. You have to be level two and above. You have to be ready for the mastermind. We don't let anybody in the mastermind because we are a group of crazy, inspired individuals working super hard for our goals, and that community is really respected. So I don't let anybody just to come to that community because they want you or they can afford. Okay, it's not about affordability. It's about professionalism. It's about someone who really can go out there and get the jobs. If we see that in you, we'll let you in. So please, the first step is to go through the program here. Take advantage of what is available here before you want to book a call and come to mastermind. And if you did, I have 5 spots available this week that I'm gonna talk to those people, interview them personally myself, because usually mentors will talk to them. But 5 spots I have that you can leverage. I put the link below. Only those that well, I will talk to personally and let them in the mastermind if you're interested. So that's Erfane. I graduated almost 1 year ago. I don't have Canadian work experience in a company, and it has been hard to find a job. So you graduated where? In Canada. Also try to match my resume with each job description when applying. That's wrong. Don't do that, guys. For every time you apply, you don't match. You shouldn't match it. You don't have time for that. But I haven't received any. That's wrong. That's number one. Through referrals, I've been invited to several interviews, but I'm not selected. Probably you have to work on your interviews as well. I want to find a full-time job as an designer in a company. How can I enter this industry? What? Yeah, the question is too broad. For you need to work on many things. You need to work on your interview, and especially if you haven't worked and you just studied, probably your English requires working, which we'll cover in the interview. And the Canadian work experience is not that important. If you have experience back home, we can use that. But we need again, you also need a story to tell. You need to learn how to tell the story, and you need to learn how to build a network. Okay, so to find a full-time job with your background, you need a lot of work, and it's usually taking 1 to 3 months working every day to get there. And last question. Okay, I have to jump. Let me see. Right now, my main concern is finding the right companies to connect with. I'm in Armenia. I was supposed to take only B2B contracts from the US. Give me a small hint on how to find target companies to start connecting. Okay, Matty, this is I have to jump, but I think I had a conversation with you before. B2B contracts, yes, you need to start expanding your network, and how to find target companies. Use advanced LinkedIn search criterias, and the rest I know you're going to join Mastermind, but we'll have more details there. Thank you everyone for attending. I have to jump really quick. Take care. Bye bye. Looking forward to next meeting.